evening, we bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo De Rosario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Sam Corrales, and tonight we catch up with the newest face of the Akari Chargers. But first, we'll break down Game 1 of the NBA Finals.
Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. The Nuggets draw first blood in their first ever trip to the NBA Finals in a Game 1 win over the Miami Heat, 104-93. Now with us tonight to break down the series opener are NBA Hype hosts, Coach Charles Chu and Isaac Go. Gentlemen, great to have you both in the same room with varying opinions on this matter in particular. I was surprised.
The first time.
I usually just listen to Isaac.
No, I listen to you.
Ang sweet ka naman. But Charles, I want to start off with you first because you actually did call the game for our local coverage here. So what were your first impressions of the entire game now that you had a chance to take a step back?
Well, I thought that the Nuggets just looked really good. I mean, they were the more aggressive team. They were fresher than the Heat, and I think that was pretty evident. I like how they attacked the zone. I know you disagree with me here, but it just seems like they have solutions for everything that Miami was trying to throw at them, and that scares me for the sake of the Heat.
And how about you, Isaac?
I think we saw the notes earlier, but the gap wasn't that big for me because everyone says, "Oh, Miami's coming 7 games." But in a game where Jokic had a triple-double, AG, Michael Porter, almost everyone I can name from Denver had a good game. They only lost by 9 points. So yes, Miami looked fatigued. Yes, their shots were ending up short a lot of times. Yes, they have stuff to figure out, but they got a good game from Haywood Highsmith, Tyler Hero potentially returning the series, so it could make things interesting.
And Isaac, you also mentioned that, in this game, you found out that Denver is the deeper team. And speaking of that, you mentioned that you have one X factor, and that's Aaron Gordon. 16 points in Game 1,
Yep.
Why him?
And even there's this video I watched where after every game, Coach Mike Malone likes to award like a necklace to the ones outstanding player of the game. And this game, he gave it to AG. Yes, he could have given it to Jamal, MPJ, Jokic, but he even acknowledged that the way he started the game, way he got aggressive early, got inside position, that just set the tone for the rest of the game.
And speaking about setting the tone for the game, it felt like Denver got anything they wanted offensively. Now, to the point that we disagreed on, Charles, that we did not explain to anyone else, I disagreed with you on what you're going to mention, which is that the zone won't be effective. And I disagree because I think that it could work in situations, especially when Jokic is on the bench. But you did mention that there is a big defensive problem for the Miami Heat, and it's not just the zone.
No, look, I agree with you. When Jokic is on the bench, that's when they first pulled it out in the first half, and it actually worked for a while. It did work in the fourth too, but you look at the shots that Denver missed in that stretch when they went zone. Jokic had a gimme that he'll make 90% of the time. Murray missed a wide open shot too in the middle. And then they missed a few open threes. Now, it worked against the Celtics because the Celtics couldn't hit threes. And it may work, but I just don't think it's a solution. Denver's the second best team against the zone in the whole regular season. And then they have Jokic, who is probably number 1 PPP in the zone. So that's a big difference.
Yeah.
But I think the problem for the Heat defensively is that they have one Jimmy Butler. He cannot defend everybody. That's why Highsmith, who Isaac mentioned, played really well because they want him on Murray. But Butler, somebody has to guard Aaron Gordon. And whenever it was Gabe Vincent, they just punished whoever Gabe Vincent was guarding. And Duncan Robinson's also a weak link. So I don't think the Heat have enough defenders in the perimeter to slow down the Nuggets. And that's why I'm worried for them.
And speaking of, who are they going to slow down, let's talk about the duo of Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray putting up 27 and 26 apiece. I mean, how solid has their connection and chemistry been, not just like in the playoffs, but the whole season, Isaac?
Are they the best? Sorry, are they the best 1-2 combination?
Ooh, that's tough, but it goes all the way back when they were in college or entering the pros. They went to the Nike Hoop Summit where they actually met, where they played together on Team World. But it's really, you can see that they're the perfect pair because Jokic is a guy who can score, who can assist, who can dish. So when he's on the floor, Jamal does the scoring load, but usually off Jokic assists. When Jokic gets off the floor, that's when Jamal takes over, gets all the ball handling he wants, and you just see that they complement each other.
So when you look at the numbers here, especially for the Miami Heat and the guys who really shine throughout the entire Eastern Conference Finals, a lot of them did not show up shooting-wise, especially. And in fact, that leads us to one of the key points for the Miami Heat, for Coach Charles, in terms of actually taking a game away. That shooting has to be addressed.
Yeah, they got to hit their outside shots. I mean, you can't go, what, was it 0 for 9 for Strus? Caleb Martin couldn't hit a shot either after a great Eastern Conference Finals. Lowry hit some threes towards the end. Duncan Robinson couldn't get his groove going too, but that's going to be huge for them because that's the shot that the Nuggets seem to be willing to give up, that in that long to those mid-range games. Obviously, if Tyler Hero comes back, he would address that, but he also is a weak link defensively. And can I just jump into your question to Isaac? I do think they are the best dynamic duos. I mean, they trumped every super duo, the Suns, the Lakers, and you name it. And right now, they're 1-0 in the finals, so I think...
Had to bring that out.
Yeah,
You had to bring it out,
he had to. And of course, we all talk about the guys in the background for the Miami Heat, but you also specified that Jimmy Butler has to score more. I think a lot of viewers saw him do a lot of search dribbling, really being the playmaker. But that might not be the guy Miami need right now.
I think so. I mean, he had a decent game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists with 14 points. But I just felt he was too passive. He's the one guy who can get to the free throw line. And against the Nuggets, you have to get to the free throw line so they can't run. You get to the free throw line, you slow the game down, get your foul shots, and he's a great foul shooter, but you can't win a game shooting 2 free throws. And I think he said it himself, he has to be more aggressive too.
That is the lowest output from an NBA team in the finals, by the way. 2 free throw attempts, and it only happened 6 times in the entire NBA history. So really tough to win.
Crazy. I mean, that's right, Coach. He said that like after the game, he's like, I have to be more aggressive. But Bam was the aggressive one for his team in Game 1. But now let's go over to Denver. Isaac, what do you think can they build on to possibly take another Game 2 at home?
We just saw it today that they literally swung the hammer, swung it hard, swung it fast, and sent a statement. Now, the game could have been a little bit closer for comfort, around 9 points, but they showed that Miami's wearing down. They just gotta put the pedal to the metal, keep hammering them, and they could probably maybe even sweep the series.
Charles said the exact same thing, by the way, so we're not going to dive too deep into
He
that.
just said the gap's not too big, and now you're saying they're going to sweep the series?
They can! Well, it could be a competitive sweep, like what happened to the Lakers. I'm sorry, Lakers fans.
I hope it's a close series.
All right. Well,
you want more work,
yeah,
man.
we'll see. But what's really interesting here, Isaac, is that you want to focus on the defense of Miami as a key for them to win, which is to how to guard Jokic and find a way to continue to feed Bam. So the center position really important to you.
Definitely, because I think, as we've seen in this playoff series, when Bam's aggressive, when Bam scores above 20 points, they pick up wins. And today, I liked how he was aggressive, kind of passive in the Boston series. But in terms of defense, they have to make a decision because Jokic can do both. They have to take one away.
And with that said, we were just talking about it. Jelovito was here the other day.
The other big man of the show.
He already brought out a hot take for this one, and he said it will be Denver in 6. Do you agree? Coach Charles first, and then Isaac.
5 or 6, I think so. I just think Denver's going to win it all. They're playing at the high level. That reminds me of that Spurs team that lost to the Heat and went back the next year, just killed everybody. I mean, they're in a 7-game winning streak. They haven't lost a game at home in the playoffs, and they look really good right now.
I think a hot take would be Denver in 4, but I think I agree with the statement too. 5 and 6, that's I think the sweet spot.
Stop being safe. So are you saying Denver in 4?
No, Denver in 6.
Denver in 6 for the two of you. I'm going to say Denver in 6 for you, Charles. Just,
Maybe 5.
Maybe 5. All right, we'll make
A
it 5
lot of
for
hot
him.
takes being thrown out here tonight.
100%.
But guys, don't go away because after the break, we will hear from a rookie that made headlines as she starts her professional career with the Akari Chargers. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back. You're still watching the game. The Invitational Conference is filled with many surprises, and one of those was Faith Nisperos' decision to forgo her final playing year for the Blue and White to join the Akari Chargers in the PVL. And there were a lot of questions going around, and lucky for us tonight, we have her with us on the show. Faith, congratulations on your UAAP career and welcome to the pros.
Thank you.
I love that. Now, Faith, as we know, you didn't play your final year in the UAAP. So what excited you the most about taking your talents to the next level in the pros?
Well, as you said, next level. So I'm really excited to be playing in a more competitive atmosphere with veterans that I really look up to. And yeah, that's what I'm really excited about.
A lot of people, when we were talking about them, especially those who had eligibility still in college, making a decision is no small feat. There's a lot of soul searching that has to happen.
Of course.
How did that process go for you?
Well, after the UAP, I had some time off with my family and really talked, and most of the time we were just praying actually na if this is the right decision, what are the pros and cons. Of course, that is something very big factors to talk about. But then I was with my family. They've been my number one support system, but still when I was still young. So I'm really glad na I've made this decision with them.
And is it true, Faith, that there were like 7 teams that were trying to get you in their squad? So how, lucky is Akari to have you? Why did you select that team?
Well, as I've said many times that, of course, Akari made it feel very light for me to be part of their team. And I really felt the family within the management and the team as well.
Yeah, you talk about the feeling that you had when they were trying to woo you. How true was that when you're actually there, training with them, learning from yung mga ate mo, and really taking in the culture that they're trying to build there with Akari?
I could say it was really true na yun nga, whatever they were saying, it materialized when I went to train with them. And I was really glad, of course, I was back with my former teammates and of course some of the veterans na I really wanted to play with, like Ate Bang and Ate Dindin as well.
And speaking of former teammates, Vani Gandler, she was here on the show, of course, with Signal. And I believe that you guys already met not as teammates again, but as competitors. Can you tell us about how that tune-up game went? How was it like for you, seeing her on the other side of the court?
Of course, there's a sense of familiarity within the playing stage, of course. And it was fun, actually, playing against her. And wow, I never really knew na the way I studied her before to help her really helped me in the way na I could compete with her naman.
It's sometimes surreal na people that you never thought you would compete against now all of a sudden are on the opposite side of the net. Are there any, former teammates who are still, I'm sure, current friends that you're excited to see come the PVL? And have you talked to anyone in particular na,
Well,
okay, I can't wait to see you?
So, of course, friends, former teammates, of course, those from the Chartigo team, si Ea Laure, Aimee Hernandez, Joymi, Jen, and Sinang Robles. Of course, I'm excited again kasi next level na eh. And I've been playing with them and against them since high school. So it's really nice to see them go up the ranks, diba, as well. Yeah.
It feels like sabay-sabay kayo who came into this. It feels
Oh,
like
yeah.
you're all growing up together almost every single step of the way. Did that make it feel like more meant to be, knowing that yung mga nakasama mo throughout the younger stage of your career, you're now jumping to the pros together?
Well, if you put it that way, yeah, parang ngayon ko lang na-realize na, parang destiny na sabay-sabay kami from the younger age to until this level. So, yeah.
And Faith, you're also making kwento na, it's finally sinking in for you that you are a pro. And I guess you embodied that after season 85. Can you tell us, what really motivated you to already work on yourself? You were already training, diba? Walang break since the UAAP.
Of course, as an athlete, we want to work on our craft, and it's our skills, it's our body, and that has been my passion, to always make myself better. Not only my body, but also as a whole, I guess. Yeah, of course. And yeah, that's the real motivation behind it.
So, syempre, with the change of the environment, with the change of the competition, and understanding that this is probably a more cutthroat competition from a competitive standpoint, what did you realize that you need to improve on during your first days of training? Kasi iba na yung kasama mo, iba na yung environment, iba na yung mga makakalaban mo. What did you discover about yourself that you need to change?
There is a more heightened sense of urgency. Kasi I'm going into this league as a rookie again. And of course, these players have a tremendous amount of experience already na I surely will have, but will take time. But of course, I wanna do quality training every day to at least try to catch up with them. And that's what I discovered with myself na I have to have a more sense of urgency into improving my skills. Yeah.
I love that for you. I mean, always up for growth. And speaking of the veterans team, you have Jeline Marciano, you have Dindin Santiago Manabat, and Bang Pineda. Did they give you any advice already, coming in as a rookie? What do they tell you, Faith?
Well, of course, it hasn't been long, so advices will come, I guess. But of course, they've given me a very warm welcome, and it became very easy to gel with them. And syempre, as an ate, they always have my back naman in training, like when I have questions, simple things like that. And I really hope na during my stay, diba, could learn a lot from them.
We all know that this Akari team is growing more and more every competition. It feels like they're an edge more competitive every time. How excited are you? Base sa mga training na nakita mo, and of course, nag-tune up na kayo, but then how excited are you for the upcoming season for all the Akari fans out there?
Well, I'm very excited kasi yun nga, slowly we're getting there, we're getting the groove, and the team has nothing to go but up, right? So I'm really excited with how the training is going.
All right, Faith. Obviously, a lot of fans are going to be really excited to see you sa PVL. What can all of the Ateneo fans who are now going to be tuning in to you with the Akari Charge expect from a Faith Nisperos in her first ever conference as a rookie na pro sa PVL?
Of course, nothing will change, but if there will be change, it will be a better Faith, a more competitive, a more fighter, a more determined Faith Nisperos in the PVL.
I love that answer. In fact, we're going to loop it over and over again over on social media. Maraming salamat, Faith, and good luck with Akari.
Thank you so much, Faith. See you soon.
So after the break, we'll bring things back to the NBA as we talk about the dominance of Nikola Jokic. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to The Game. Two-time MVP Nikola Jokic continues to add to his legendary career with another triple-double in his finals debut. Is the Joker the undisputed best player in the NBA today? Well, still with us to answer this question are our friends from NBA Hype, Coach Charles Chu and Isaac Go. I have no idea what your answer is, to be honest, to that question. But, again, the first triple-double in the NBA debut since Jason Kidd, and they're the only two people to do that. Given that accolade, Coach Charles, is he the best player in the NBA today?
I think so. I mean, he won it 2 straight times, the MVP award at least. This year, Joel Embiid won it, but it wasn't even really clear. I know the voters seem pretty decided, but if you listen to the debates, the experts, I think you could make a case for Nikola Jokic. He had as good as a year as he had in his last 2 MVP years. He's been really dominant in this whole postseason. He's averaging a triple-double the entire playoffs, and I think more importantly, it's like he's just picking his spots. I was just talking about it with George off the air. When at the start of the game, Jokic was just kind of coasting, just setting guys up. But when they needed points, I mean, he had 12 points in the fourth quarter when they kind of got stuck. They just go to him and he just makes plays.
And why do you think, Isaac, is he playing more dominantly here in the playoffs compared to the regular season? Apparently, there's another level to his game.
There's always another level. I think if you ask any player, and you always want that from your star player. When the stage gets bigger, the lights get brighter, they take up another level. And Coach Charles, I think, would also say that he would love players like that. That the bigger the situation, the bigger the event, that the players start to ball out.
Yeah.
What's interesting is, though, like with Jokic, he is not always the guy you see on social media, like with highlight reels. He doesn't even have social media. Like, he's not flashy at all. But for Coach Charles, like, why do you think he is so effective for his team?
His passes are flashy. I love his passes, though. He's so effective because he's so smart. I mean, he's so unselfish and he's so smart. And I mean, even you see how he conducts himself in interviews. He's so humble, which is a nice guy to have. I mean, he puts his team first.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. He can have games where he scores 10 points but has 15 assists. And he makes the right decision. It's interesting, you know, I remember people would criticize LeBron James for being a guy who would just make the right play. But Jokic is exactly the same, except that I guess he's not a lightning rod like LeBron, but he's as good. And he can score with the best of them. Look, what numbers did he have again today? But the 12 points in the fourth quarter just show that, you know, he's still a guy you can give the ball to and he will score. You put a smaller guy on him, he'll shoot over him. A bigger guy, he'll out-quick him to the basket.
27, 10, and 14. Nikola Jokic in today's game. In fact, he joins LeBron James as the only players in the last 25 years with 10 points and 10 assists in any half of an NBA Finals game. Now, you take a look at Isaac Go and you take a look at Nikola Jokic, and you have two players here who aren't necessarily the most athletic, but Isaac, as a big man, how do you look up to Nikola Jokic, who does not have the typical NBA athleticism, but still uses his smarts, uses his passing to really make a living?
I think number one is just picking your spots. As basketball players, we want to go beyond what we have. We always want to explore the unknown. But for him, it's, I know I'm good at this, I'll go to this. Like, you can't stop me if I go here. Why try something? Why try to do something that I can't do if I have something that I can do?
And on the other hand, for you, Coach Charles, what should players, learn from the game of the Joker? What could they take from him, watching him play like this in the NBA?
I think he's actually really fundamentally sound. You watch his footwork, it's just excellent on the block, the way he knows how to balance himself. He knows how to maximize his strengths. As Isaac said, he can't really jump that much, but still he gets a ton of rebounds. That's boxing out, tapping the ball to himself. I mean, his passing is excellent, and he's just a bucket getter.
So, Coach Charles, bilang isang Lasallian educator, as a coach for CSB, how would you use Nikola Jokic's game to educate your players to just be smarter on the floor?
Man, I would let them watch videos of him all day. If I have a player half as smart as Jokic, I'd win the championship. Man. But no, seriously, there's so many things you can learn from him. I mean, the way he reads the defense, I think, is one. I mean, even the way he sets screens, he's a big body. He gets his teammates open. That's why Murray's open all the time. I mean, he's pretty good at setting screens.
Now, he's a two-time MVP, but no championship title yet. What do you think are you expecting from him, and that could possibly, lead him there to the final destination, get the championship?
Man, he's going to put this team on his back because right now he's enjoying, he's facilitating, and everyone's having a good time. But as Coach Charles said, when they get stuck, he's going to put everybody on his back, and everyone just has to get on and for him to carry them all the way.
Do you expect that if they finally run into trouble? Because game one, they did not run into much trouble. Do you think that he will put Denver on his back and really take over?
Yes, and it's so funny. As I watched a conversation this morning, Michael Porter Jr. said his first day in Denver, Mason Plumlee was starting, and everyone's like, why is Mason Plumlee, why is Mason Plumlee killing Nikola Jokic? And everyone's like, just wait. Because this guy can drop 50 if he wanted to. And true enough, He can, but he chooses not to.
That's something we could look out for. And on that note, guys, be sure to catch Game 2 of the NBA Finals happening in a few days, happening this weekend. Now, never miss a Finals game with Signal TV. Watch all the games live on NBA TV Philippines, Channel 96 in SD and Channel 262 in HD.
Well, speaking of hoops, nothing beats watching the FIBA Basketball World Cup live and in person. Buy your single-day pass and get access to 2 live games of the FIBA Basketball World Cup for as low as 999 pesos. Head to philippines.worldcup.basketball for more information. Ticket types, seat info, and other special offers are there as well. Be a part of Philippine basketball history and buy your tickets today.
A lot of basketball coming up, but thank you so much, guys, for coming over, really sharing all of your insights. Coach
Thank you
Charles.
for staying,
and
Charles.
Isa.
Gladly.
That's why you never-
Anytime.
Love that. And thank you for joining us as well. I'm Sam Corrales.
And I'm Paolo De Rosario. This has been The Game.